Good morning, guys. Welcome to JMT Rides. Actually, over here, guys. Come on, pay attention. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the skid plate system that I ended up going with. In addition to the full skid plate system, I actually added a few additional skid plates, and I'm going to show you that, in my opinion, I think that these are probably like the first skid plates you should get, at least in my case, because when I was going off-road, I was hitting these spots pretty often. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys the skid plates. Let's go ahead. We're going to start right from the front. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll know what I'm talking about because I've been mentioning these. So this is my front axle. I went ahead, and this is the newest one. EVO makes this. You could probably see, if I could get this to focus, you could see it probably there. Hopefully it shows up on camera. It says EVO. These aren't bolt-on. These, I had to actually have these welded on. You could already see I got some more rust because I've been probably scraping this in some of the rocks. Probably hit this up, clean this up real nice, and then I'll hit it up with some POR 15. But anyway, back to the skid plates. So I went ahead and I added this because you can't see it now because it's protecting the area that I was scratching up. I must have hit it up against the rocks and it was a little dented and stuff. So I went ahead and I had Goonies Garage in Holtzville. They went ahead and just welded this on. Now, this is just cheap protection, I have to say. This is probably, I think, if I remember correctly, I believe they're probably under 100. There'll be a link in the description below to these. I meant to like weld these on, to weld them both on. I don't remember how much I paid, but it's probably like around 50 bucks, something like that. In the description below, I'll have a link to this product on EVO's site. Like I said, cheap insurance. This is one part that I was hitting on the rocks, and I did it obviously on both sides. Get the other one right there. So besides this, while we're here, I got these from Rock Hard. They make them in steel and aluminum. I went with steel just because obviously steel's gonna be stronger, gives you more protection. I'm not really worried about the extra weight on the Jeep, to be honest, because like I've told you guys many times before, if you gear your Jeep right, you're not gonna feel like your Jeep is heavy or underpowered. My Jeep still feels peppy, moves, pretty good. I didn't buy a Jeep to, race or something like that. That's what the hellcat's for. But anyway, like I said, this is all steel. This comes with the, this is the little door so that I could do the oil changes, make it a little easier. Let me come in from the side of the Jeep so I can show you guys a better angle. Okay, so this is what I was just showing you guys before. So you could go ahead and change your oil. And it's just very nice the way the whole system kind of interconnects with the other skid plates on here. Got my exhaust right over here. Got your other skid plate over there. I believe that's for your gas tank, I believe. Again, much better than the skid plates that come stock on the Jeep. As you can see, in fact, on the screen right now, I'm going to put a picture. While my Jeep was up on the lift, the mechanic took a picture, so I'm going to put that. You're going to take a look at that right now. So you can kind of see how nice it all flows one skid plate to the other since it's all from the same manufacturer. Another thing I want to mention, these skid plates that I got, I'm not sponsored by Rock Hard, or I didn't even get a discount or anything. I had to buy these outright, so you can know, I'm telling you, I actually bought these because I really thought it was a good product. In fact, like I've told you guys before, if you see a product on my Jeep, it's because I actually do believe in the product. I wouldn't put something on my Jeep just because someone's going to pay me a couple bucks or something like that. I really actually got to like the product. Again, this is my exhaust system right here. The Dynamax, very happy with this. Okay guys, another thing I'm gonna highly recommend you guys get if you're gonna be going off-road is a diff cover like this. Now I went ahead and I got the Dynatrac one. The only reason why I bought the Dynatrac diff cover for the rear axle was because I have a Dynatrac front axle on my Jeep. But if I didn't have a Dynatrac front axle, I probably would go with the ARB one. The ARB one has a nice little dipstick so you can check the oil. I think like the dipstick's like around here, something like that on the ARB. Again, I only got it because I wanted to have matching diff covers on the front and rear axle. But the ARB one, they have like red, black ones. They come in a couple different colors. But both of them are, heavy duty. I think it's made of like iron or something, I'm not sure. Adding this will definitely give you a lot more protection when you're going off-road. In fact, if you look, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I've already bumped this on the rocks already. Pretty much what people are saying is like your stock diff cover, like the front and the rear, I mean, it's a thin metal. and if you drag it on a rock, it's gonna just peel off. Once you put on one of these, you're good to go, and no need to worry. Now the other skid plate that I added, that's not from Rock Hard, are these guys right here for the rear shock mounts. I got one here and one on the right side right over here. That's the rear shock mounts. These are also from EVO. These are bolt-on. Now what I want to point out is EVO also makes another one that relocates the rear shock and kind of lifts it up a little bit higher. That's going to affect the travel in your rear shock. Some people say that it's going to affect your ride and this and that. To be honest, I didn't want to deal with that nonsense. So for me, it was a lot easier to just go with the bolt-on version. I think they also make a weld-on, but I went with the bolt-on version for the rear, and that was another spot that I was hitting on a regular basis. So if I was a new Rubicon owner, and I basically just wanted to get some skid plates, the Rubicon already comes with some skid plates, so I would honestly start with front rear diff covers. Again, you could go with whichever one you like. I had the ARB ones on my last Jeep. I got the Dynatrac on this Jeep. They're both heavy duty, they'll both do the job. Then I'll do the rear shock mount skids from EVO, and the front lower control arm skids also from EVO. Keep in mind the front one is a weld-on one, so unless you know how to weld, you probably have to go to somebody to have it done. Again, very cheap, simple mod. Diff covers are also diff covers to replace those. It looks like a pretty simple thing. If you don't know how to do it, you can just look it up on YouTube. It looks pretty straightforward. But anyway, I'm going to be announcing that off-road trip very soon. One of the guys that went on the last off-road trip, I think he's out of town. I got to check on the dates on when he said he was going to be coming back. So I'm going to schedule the trip probably when he gets back. And again, I'm deciding between Roush Creek Off-Road Park, and I believe there's another off-road park really close to Roush Creek. Maybe we'll check out a new one. Once I find out the info, I'll make a video with the park info for both places. I'll let you guys go ahead and decide which one we go to. Let me show you guys another thing. So for the fourth, I believe it's actually like the fifth time, I think, these light bars have been replaced like 4 or 5 times because the housing has been fading out. Now if you look over here, these lights are kind of separated into sections, kind of like this. What I had on 2 previous light bars was when you turn it on, besides the issue with the housing fading, what I had was 2 of my previous light bars had the issue where this section right here would turn on initially and then would kind of just turn off by itself. Not sure what that's about. I called and I asked Baja Designs. They're telling me that that can happen if you have a bad ground, but I don't see that being the case since I have an S-Pod, and on my S-Pod nothing else has an issue. So it actually just happened to me today again, and this is a brand new light bar. I had this one go out, but I did turn it off, turn it back on, and it came on okay. I'm gonna turn it on right now and see if it works the way it should. Alright, as you can see, the 50-inch is working correctly. These lights on the bottom never gave me any issues other than the housing fading, so that's why I had those replaced. The only reason why I've been putting up with all the extra work and the nonsense of replacing these light bars is because Baja Designs actually acknowledged that there was an issue in the manufacturing process with the resin that they used to paint these light bars. And they went ahead and they switched manufacturers and they've corrected the issue, supposedly. And this time they promised me that they gave me new lights from the new batch that shouldn't have that issue. Now, I'm concerned about that little section of light over here where I said that light was going out. I love the way these lights light up at night. They're crazy bright. I've compared them to like the cheap light bars that you see on Amazon. Night and day difference, huge difference. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this one doesn't act up anymore. If any of you guys are familiar with the S-Pod design, let me know. Do you really think I could possibly have a bad ground? I would think that if I had a bad ground, my other lights would also have issues, but you guys let me know. Another thing that I ended up doing, since I ended up replacing these lights so much, this is the plug. I know it looks nasty. I don't like the way it looks either, but this is the plug for this light. And originally what I ended up doing was I had de-pinned the cables from the plug so that this way it was like a straight line and looked nice and neat. But being that I've been replacing this light bar already a few times, I put the plugs back on, so it's just easier to swap the light back and forth. Again, I've already swapped them like 4 or 5 times, so you know, it's been kind of a pain. We'll see what happens. These lights are not cheap by any means. I don't remember exactly what they go for, but I want to say between all 3 of them, you're looking at probably around $2,500, or if not a little bit more. So they're not cheap. They're definitely not cheap. The good thing about Baja Designs is that they have great customer service. And like I said, they've already sent me these replacement lights a bunch of times. So at least I know that, you know, if I have an issue, I could go to them and hopefully they can handle it. Actually, now that I'm actually on camera, this lighting behind the camera actually acts as good camera lighting. Well, I don't know, probably a little bit too washed out, but we'll see. But anyway, guys, again, keep an eye out. My wide body Hellcat, I've been calling these guys, asking them for updates, like harassing them, because one of the people at Dodge ended up telling me that my Hellcat was supposed to be delivered somewhere in Jersey by the end of September. That never happened. So there was some kind of a delay. They didn't have an explanation. They didn't know why. So I've been calling Dodge. All I know is that my wide body Hellcat did ship. It's on the way, and the estimated delivery date is somewhere for next week. So hopefully there's no more delays and the car shows up next week. I can't wait. Actually, look, while I'm talking to you, you can kind of see that right light over here. It's kind of flickering right now. Once it starts flickering like that, it ends up going out. Let's see if it'll go out on camera. It's the weirdest thing. I'm just beyond frustrated at this point. Starting to flicker over here. Boom. It just went out on camera. Don't know what the heck's going on, but that's not making me happy. Okay, so while I was actually filming this video, I did some testing and I figured something out. This little section right over here that went out, maybe that's actually not the light's fault. So I just wanted to mention that on video because I have replaced these lights a bunch of times because the housing's been fading out. But what I ended up discovering just now was when that light was on, when I actually had all the lights on, as soon as I turned off switch number 2, that little right section on the right came back on. So now I'm starting to wonder if there is something wiring related to the S-Pod. I'm gonna definitely need to get that checked out. Anyway guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the little bell icon so you sign up for the notifications. If not, I promise you YouTube will not notify you when you get the videos. Give this video a thumbs up, comment below. Hope you guys all have a great day. Thank you very much for watching, guys.